Good afternoon. It's lunchtime reading for you devoted fans of The Door in the Wall right here. And for any of you guys who want to see Stella, she's right here. It's lunchtime reading with Stella. You want to come up here and show everybody that you're right here? There she is. Okay, she's going to listen too. All right, we ended with Robin is still living with Brother Luke in the monastery, and Brother Luke has been patiently teaching him how to whittle, how to use his hands to make things with wood, and now he's whittling a cross. And and we left off with Brother Luke helping him learn how to read and write, and he wrote a letter to his father. And remember, his father is fighting in the wars against the Scottish. Robin lives in England, and there's some wars going on with Scotland, and his father's over there fighting against them, and did not know that Robin is ill and cannot walk. And so now he wrote a letter to his father explaining what has happened. Okay, that's where we left off. All right, June passed and the days lengthened into summer. The plague, remember the plague, Matthew taught us a little bit about the plague, okay, that was going on, but it had died out, so it had lessened. But with its going went many of the people of London, even some of the monks. Once more the monastery kept its usual round of service to God and humanity. The monks who were left added to their own the duties of those who had died. So some of the monks actually had died from the plague, and so now the monks that were still there, including Brother Luke, had more things to do because of that. Brother Luke sometimes helped in the preparation of food. Sometimes he carried Robin down into the kitchen where he could be warm on a wet day. It was there that he finished the little cross. Why not make a child's puppet for that poor girl who hung on to my skirts that day, said Brother Luke. She dwells by Houndsditch in a very poor, small, dirty hut where I go on my errands. A girl's plaything? Asked Robin. Then he began to think what fun it might be to carve out a face. He might even make the arms and legs so that they would move. Yes, he said, I will try. So began the making of the doll for the little girl. Head and body were to be in one piece, with arms and legs jointed. Brother Matthew will help thee to work that out, said Brother Luke. Soft pine, again, was used because it was easier to cut. Robin became so excited at seeing real features emerge from the piece of wood that he could hardly bear to take time to attend to his studies. Reading went well, and he was beginning to make fair characters in writing with the quill, which is what some of you third graders are doing. A fine job of writing and cursive. Next week we will have some cursive in our studies. All right, on clear nights, Brother Hubert took him to a high tower of the monastery to tell him or teach him of the stars. He told Robin too of far countries, so geography as well he was teaching him. He told him of far countries. He taught him the Holy Land where crusaders had fought for the tomb of our Lord. Remember that story that we learned in Story of the World about the Crusades? Samuel touched on that for his presentation. So Brother Hubert is giving him lessons about the stars and about geography and about history, the Crusades that went on in Jerusalem. He taught him of Greece and Rome, whose ancient languages were the beginnings of many other tongues. So he probably was teaching him some Latin as well, just like you guys. He told of Roman legions who had come to Britain centuries before, and of Saxon and Danish kings who in turn had ruled their land. Robin couldn't always remember which ones came first, but he liked to hear Brother Hubert tell about them. One day, Robin was sitting in the trundle cart. Remember, that was like a wheelbarrow that he sat in while he worked on his wood carving, finishing the child's doll when Brother Luke came into the garden. Thy hands are well used to the chisel now, he said in praise of Robin's work. That is a face and body right enough, and I see you're attaching the arms. Will they move then? Yes, said Robin. See how this peg fits into the shoulder, then slips into the top of the arms, and it swings? See? It will make a little child very happy, said the friar. Now, because the day is so fine and you are getting so strong, it might be well if we should go fishing. Fishing! Could he really leave the hospice and go fishing? Even the fun of fitting arms and legs to the doll could not keep Robin from wanting to get out into the fields and away from bench and bed, stool and trundle cart. I could sit against a tree and fish too, do you think? No doubt, agreed Brother Luke. Come then. He lifted Robin to his back and they went down the green to the brook outside the walls. They fished for a time, each catching several trout, which they wrapped in leaves. The sun shone warm through the leafy grove. It was very still. Suddenly the quiet was burst with the shout of boys' voices. 6 or 7 boys ran over the green, stripping off clothing as they came. Robin, looking over his shoulder, saw Geoffrey Atwater, the same boy he had first seen limping through the corridors of St. Mark's. Geoffrey raced down the bank ahead of all the rest, swinging his crutches ahead of him and taking in his stride twice as much ground as the other boys, meaning he was faster than them even though he had crutches. Geoffrey saw Robin at the same moment. "Hi, Crookshanks," he called. "Are you finding fish for your lunch?" Off came the last ragged garment, down went the crutches, and with a whoosh, he was into the water with the others and away with the current. Thrashing arms and legs beat the water into foam and spoiled the fishing. Robin wished with all his heart that he could go into the water and swim too. It was all very well for Brother Luke to bring him fishing, but it only seemed to make it harder that he couldn't run about or swim like the other boys. The friar saw Robin's hungry look. "Off with thy jerkin," he said, at the same time rising and taking off his own habit. "We'll give you a good bath and cleanse thy humor. Who knows? Maybe we can teach you to swim." He pulled off Robin's hosen and carried him into the water, holding and dipping him where the current ran deep. "Now swing thy arms about with fingers closed to push the water back." Robin pushed and felt himself moving along with Brother Luke, walking and supporting him. All the troubles of the past months seemed to float away with the running of the brook, and strength and power to flow into his arms. It was wonderful. Brother Luke didn't allow him to stay long in the water, but promised to bring him every day. "For some time I have had this in mind," he said. "Now I know I was right. This will make your arms even stronger, and soon they will help you to get about on land as well." "How?" asked Robin. But even as he said it, he knew what Brother Luke meant. Crutches! That was it. With crutches, he would be able to go about as Geoffrey did. He could play at duck on a rock with the boys. He could join them in hoodman blind or hide and seek. Crutches would be almost as much fun as stilts. Then Robin remembered that his father expected him to be a knight. How could he ride horseback in chainmail, that's that heavy armor that they put on to fight, while his legs were bent and he had to use crutches? How could he face his father? How could he bear his mother's pitying look? How would they feel to have a son who could not fulfill his nightly duties? I see you know what I mean, said the friar as he finished dressing Robin. Remember, even your crutches can be a door in the wall. By the time they are made, you will be ready for them, God willing. Up now and hold fast while we go up the hill. All right, I'm going to stop there. I will finish this chapter tomorrow, and you guys have a great lunch. Stella, hey, Stella, up here. She's sleeping. You want to see her? Hey, did I read you to sleep? There we go. Say hi to the class. All right, well, I guess that's all she's going to say. Okay, you guys, have a great day.